tried to turn a very tragic moment, Simone Biles quitting the Olympic team, into this act of heroism. And I think it reflects pretty poorly on our sort of therapeutic society that we try to praise people not for moments of strength, not for moments of heroism, but for their weakest moments. And look, being an athlete is tough. Being an athlete at that level is incredibly tough. A normal response in this moment would be to say, it's just a shame that she's going through this. It's a shame that she quit. But instead, what our press has done, I think, is turn this into this weird therapeutic moment. Let's praise her for doing this. And I think that's really where the problem here in life.
An insane comment from Guy Liner here. No shade, by the way. Just own it. What grinds my gears is JD Vance, a man who crapped on rural America by grifting off a book that Libs promoted and sold his soul to Peter Thiel, couldn't walk a day in Simone Biles' shoes. Vance is referencing when Biles opted out of competing because she had the twisties, a condition, via the Washington Post, when gymnasts have it, they lose control of their bodies as they spin through the air. Sometimes they twist when they hadn't planned to, other times they stop midway through. And after experiencing the twisties once, it's difficult to forget. Instinct gets replaced by thought. Thought quickly leads to worry. Worry is difficult to escape. It can also lead to devastating injuries.
So Simone Biles decided not to compete in the gold medal competition. You're representing your nation, you selfish sociopath. You kidding me? We are raising a generation of weak people like Simone Biles. If she got all these mental health problems, don't show up. She's also very selfish, she's immature, and she is a shame to the country. She's totally a sociopath. Of course she's a sociopath. What kind of person skips the gold medal match? Who does that? It's a shame to the nation. Don't show up. If you're not ready for the big time, we got thousands of young female gymnasts that would love to take the place. Simone Biles just showed the rest of the nation that when things get tough, you shatter into a million pieces.
Conservatives like Charlie Kirk, who have a loyal following, say this, none of which is accurate, by the way, and it leads to this.
We already knew my gymnastics was kind of janky. Like, in training, I was having twisties already, but I'm trying to push past that. And I would literally tell my teammates, like, I'm fighting demons. I'm fighting demons right now, but I'm gonna do it for you guys. And as soon as I land, I kind of grin and I'm like, and I salute, and I want to run. If I could have gotten on a plane and flown home, I would have done it. But I just, as soon as I landed, I was like, oh, America hates me. The world is gonna hate me, and I can only see what they're saying on Twitter right now. I thought I was gonna be banned from America, because that's what they tell you, don't come back. If it's not gold, gold or bust, don't come back.
This is courtesy of Kirk, Vance, and many more, putting a target on Biles' back for showing what strength truly is. Speaking of, by the way,
Charlie Kirk here for 100% drug-free Relief Factor. And 18 months ago, I could no more play basketball than run a marathon. I'm serious. In fact, I'm so happy about it, I feel like I'm now on a mission to help as many people as possible to get out and stay out of pain, like this person.
I've been running almost my whole life.
So whether you have back, neck, shoulder, hip, or knee pain, Relief Factor could very likely help you too. Live your life.
No way in hell this is real. From his jump shot swishing to his critiques of Biles while admitting this. But wait, there's more.
About a year ago, I could barely walk down the street or sit in a chair for more than 10 minutes without horrible pain. And now look at me. I was skeptical too.
It's hypocrisy in its purest form, especially when a couch potato like Kirk is going after the greatest gymnast in the history of the sport.
I don't hate or dislike black women, but damn it, I don't like or respect the way they're behaving. You got Simone Biles quitting. We're not supposed to tie these things together, that this is the angry black woman's Olympics. And look what we're getting. We have radicalized a group of young people. We all want to talk about the Islamic jihadists have been radicalized and these terror cells, blah, blah. We've done that to our own people, black and white, but you're seeing it pronounced in sports. These black athletes that have been radicalized and made to hate their country.
Absolutely, unquestionably, a pathetic display from a pathetic man who is on his last legs as a media figure.
It's okay sometimes to even sit out the big competitions to focus on yourself because it shows how strong of a competitor and person that you really are, rather than just battle through it.
Exactly, she's not wrong in the slightest, but sellouts like the folks you have seen saw an opportunity. Let's just touch base further on the twisties and how scary they are. Shawn Melton, the former elite gymnast himself, who dealt with the twisties, would say, simply, your life is in danger when you're doing gymnastics. And then when you add this unknown of not being able to control your body while doing these extremely dangerous skills, it adds an extreme level of stress. And it's terrifying, honestly, because you have no idea what is going to happen.
I'm wore out, I'm tired, but here it is. Whenever I think about being wore out, being tired, you know, somebody get this on their phone and probably end up on Facebook with it. I ain't no little weak gymnast that quits when you go and get stuck. My generation is cut from a different cloth. Now, I don't quit when the going gets tough. Been plenty of times when I've been in the car, tired, dog tired, want to turn around and go back home. You see, I'm not doing this for myself. I'm not like somebody out there flipping around on TV on some monkey bars out there trying to get a gold medal for myself.
Incredible. Imagine comparing a job you clock in and out of to Simone Biles, who has dealt with Larry Nassar and bounced back to become the most decorated champion ever. And you think you're really making sense.
I've just never felt like this going into a competition before, and I tried to go out here and have fun and warm up in the back, went a little bit better, but then once I came out here, I was like, no, mental is not there. I didn't want to do something silly out there and get injured, so I thought it was best if these girls took over and did the rest of the job, which they absolutely did.
And yet, sadly, the attacks kept coming from the right.
I think this is a massive issue for the United States Women's Olympics gymnastics team that she's decided to quit in the middle of competition. We've never seen this happen. I don't think it's heroic. I don't think that she should be praised for it. And in fact, I feel bad for her teammates and the alternates that would have been able to step up and potentially take that spot.
It's pathetic, yet there's more.
I think for elite athletes like some of us that have gone through this hard time, I think we're very good at compartmentalizing things. So I think we just tried to push it in the back of our heads that it didn't happen to us. It feels like he took a part of me that I can't get back, so I'm still working on that part.
If we're okay with Simone Biles saying, hey, couldn't go tonight, mental health, we can be okay if LeBron says the same thing? She's the greatest gymnast going. He's the greatest basketball player going. Why do we have sympathy for Simone Biles, but we wouldn't have sympathy or empathy for LeBron James? It's called a double standard.
Hey, I appreciate you watching. Now, if you can, please do become a channel member by going to youtube.com/TYT Sports and clicking the join button. If that's too much for you, you can just go to tyt.com/join to become a member. It helps all of us out here at the Young Turks and keeps our network afloat. In addition, you could follow me on my socials on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Appreciate the love. Have a great day.
Milwaukee was great. They did a great job. The stadium is new. They built it for the basketball team, which is excellent. You know the Greek, right? The Greek. He's a good player.
In Charlotte, North Carolina, twice impeached former President Donald Trump tried his best at praising Milwaukee Bucks superstar Giannis Antetokounmpo. Thing is,
you know the Greek, right? The Greek. He's a good player.
He couldn't even get Antetokounmpo's nickname accurately. The Greek? Who is the Greek?
The Greek Freak is a monster.
I mean, we hear it all the time in media.
The Nigerian way, you gotta say with a D, so it's Antetokounmpo. But in the Greek way, you say with the NT, like Antetokounmpo. So I changed it myself. Like, I don't think there is a way you gotta say the last name. Whatever you got, just say, it's Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Plus, aside from being one of the best players in the league and a 2-time MVP, mispronouncing his name at this point is inexcusable. But butchering the nickname is incomprehensible, considering Trump's love for sports. Nathan Marzione, who covers the Milwaukee Bucks, put out this photo of Giannis with a T showing his stances on certain issues Republicans have attacked for political gain. Additionally, Antetokounmpo would rock another T with the following message: men of quality don't fear equality. After the Jacob Blake shooting, which took place in Wisconsin, of course, coupled with the January 6 riots, Giannis would say, at the end of the day, when I stop playing basketball, and while I'm playing basketball, my kid is going to grow up here in America. My kid is black, and I cannot imagine my kid going through what I see and what I see on the television.
We want change. We want justice. Yep. Yes. And that's what that's what we're going to do today. That's why we're going to march with you guys, okay? Yeah! I want my kid to grow up here in Milwaukee and not to be scared to walk in the street. Come on. I don't want my kid to have hate in his heart. Come on. So you know, I was talking with my teammates, my brother yesterday, like, when my kids see this clip that what happened to these people that, you know, passed away or they got killed, how the hell I'm going to explain that to my kid? Come on, bro. It's gonna have hate in his heart. I don't want my kid to have hate towards white people, towards black. I want that, man.
Nah, that's real.
We're all the same.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the color. We're not black, white, yellow. It does not matter. We're all human beings.
And here was Giannis at the March for Equality in Wisconsin, supporting the 2020 summer protesters. In addition, he would march with the protesters along with his teammates in June of 2020. He'd say in the past of lessons learned from teammates of being a black man in America. I had Karan Butler tell me that when you walk down the street, take off your hoodie. I'm like, why should I take off my hoodie? And he's like, just take off your hoodie. And that was my rookie year. I didn't understand it then, but I understand it now. So it seems quite clear where he stands, hand in hand.
Vice President Harris is primed to bring her energy to you know, this campaign, and hopefully, you know, if she's on the ticket winning the election, like it's a big deal, to say the least. And she represents the Bay Area. She's been a big supporter of us, and so I want to give that energy right back to her. And just excited knowing, obviously, we're representing our country here, and this is a very monumental next couple months for our country and the direction that we're headed. So hopefully this is a great way to do our part to continue unifying the country with how we, you know, sports brings a lot of people together. And for her in this moment, knowing what's ahead, like, it's all about positive energy and optimism, knowing how divided our country is right now. So
Warriors great Stephen Curry from the Paris Olympics would give a ringing endorsement of Madam Vice President Kamala Harris. In the beginning of July, Harris visited Team USA at their practice in Las Vegas. She would say, "Our nation is cheering you on. We are so proud of you. Go to Paris and bring back that gold." Warriors headman and Team USA head coach Steve Kerr would add, "She's a Warriors fan. She loves our team and loves basketball." However, he noted second gentleman Doug Emhoff is a Lakers fan, unfortunately. Curry and Trump, of course, have a history.
And we know what the honor is of going, to the White House. Yes, going to the White House is definitely a huge honor. We've been before when President Obama was there, but if you're not going to celebrate, the collective and the majority of Americans that live in this country, then I didn't want to go.
This morning, the president responded. Going to the White House is considered a great honor for a championship team. Stephen Curry is hesitating, therefore invitation is withdrawn.
It's just kind of beneath, I think, a leader of a country to go that route. It's not what leaders do.
LeBron James weighed in, calling the president a bum. Steph Curry already said he ain't going, so therefore ain't no invite.
In his piece for Anscape, writer, author, and journalist William C. Roden wrote, "With no life and death issue to react to, and with the preoccupation with personal brands breeding caution, many athletes have gone underground. The upcoming presidential election is a potential tsunami that hopefully will activate the community." He'd add 4 years ago, that community, especially the NBA and the NFL, became a powerful public force in supporting, if not shaping, protest. WNBA players famously took down a Republican senatorial candidate players found problematic. Protests by NFL players who knelt during the playing of the national anthem became so powerful that then President Donald Trump scolded team owners, calling them to keep their players in line. As much as I advocate for political activism and messaging among athletes, this time around there won't be only basketball and football players bringing politics into the stadium. I look forward to all the pro athletes using their platforms and visibility to support a candidate and promote a cause. This should lead to some very robust clubhouse/locker room discussions. The upcoming presidential campaign, with Harris likely at the center, will likely be so filled with misogyny and racism that it will be impossible for anyone to stay on the sideline, including athletes. If you watch us, you know I am fond of Dan Le Batard and the Le Batard Show. Recently, they spoke out on being too political, and I think it's worthy that we all take it in.
The thing about the risking of losing fans that the criticism neglects is that it was a conscious choice. I understood some of the sacrifice we were making when we were making it, some of it, not all of it. And one of the choices that everyone around here has heard me say is I wanted these microphones to be free right now, as Morning Joe can't do its show on Monday, or The Daily Show can't do their show on Monday, or Jon Stewart, someone as powerful as Jon Stewart, can't do the stuff he was doing for Apple because the corporations are in charge.
That is powerful stuff. And it is a breath of fresh air. More from Dan.
I just don't want to sit out the next 4 or 5 months, no matter how it is that they end up going, because I can't talk about stuff. It's the choice we made. What started to fray everything before Chris Cody was the limitations on speech because of a corporate policy that now results in all the walls falling down. So Dana White is endorsing Donald Trump for 5 minutes on McAfee.
Dude is preaching here. And in case you missed it,
I've been saying this forever about this guy. He is one of the toughest, most resilient human beings that I have ever met in my life. This guy is the legitimate, ultimate American badass of all time.
This is what Dan was referring to. Joel D. Anderson, a former employee of the Four Letter Network, would sarcastically tweet, "The no politics mandate is now over." He'd add, "Where was this when I was getting called on vacation to not tweet about Roseanne's show being canceled?" Anderson would write for Slate, just in case you missed it, about a meeting a few years back with top ESPN talent. What ESPN, he would write, was asking us to do was pretend that criticizing Trump's Muslim ban on Twitter was politics, while his appearance at the annual Army-Navy game to toss the coin was just part of college football's pageantry. The hypocrisy, just like the more recent move to let white celebrities go off about vaccines, was mostly a cover for something else more dispiriting. Anderson would tell that story about Roseanne Barr when she posted a very racist tweet. Anderson, while on vacay, got a call from his editor imploring him to shut it. Quote, "I knew how to keep most of my opinions out of print, but I didn't want to be constantly monitored like an overactive schoolboy." Continuing on in his article, he'd say, "I can see that none of the panic that day was ever really about propriety. Now, McAfee can cuss during the day. Aaron Rodgers can posture publicly on the network for a debate about vaccines with Dr. Anthony Fauci, and Stephen A. Smith can push the presidential candidacy of his friend at the time, Chris Christie, and he continues to do this. If ESPN was truly trying to strip the politics out of its programming, it failed, but that was never truly the point." More from Dan.
I do believe that what is presently happening is that there are a lot of people in the American voting public who are a combination of scared and angry. And so that combination of things often leads to violence. And so things are about to escalate here. I will remind you, if you've been with us through the 3.5 years, okay, because the day after we left ESPN, the insurrection happened. And I was paying, in a panic, $1,000 a day for a security guard.
What was happened in the RNC feels like super normal. You have to remind yourself that there are these visible cues, like people have bandages on their ear in a support of Donald Trump because someone tried to take his life, and this is not normal. Like, would it have felt normal if the bullet was closer? The world would have stopped. I was in Tahoe at the time, and I was at a casino, and I was passing by the sports book, and there were games still going on. And I was like, why are there games going on? Like, there was a politically motivated assassination attempt on the former president and the leading candidate for president in this cycle. This should not feel normal. I don't want to do the show anymore was one of my thoughts that was going by my head at the time. And yet here I am trying to make it through the day as I normally could. And I can't. I have to remind myself that it isn't normal and that I have to do what I can. But I also realize the need to do it in a different manner now.
Well put from Ruiz. Lastly from Le Batard.
There have been fans lost, but I would make the argument that standing for something in this particular climate has also made us gain fans and gain the strength of fans that we already have. But I totally understand your objection if that's not what you want from a sports show. I hope you understand my objection that at 55 years old, I'm not going to spend all my time talking about Davante Adams. I'm just not going to do that anymore.
To be honest with you, I understand where he's coming from. I also understand the threat that one of these men face. I also comprehend and can relate to the amount of comments we receive saying, oh, what does this have to do with sports? Why don't you keep it sporty, sport? What is sports sport? Too political, sports sport. We are living in not unprecedented times, but dangerous times. This is a country that has profited off the slave trade. This is a country that massacred the indigenous. It's not unprecedented, it's just dangerous once again. So I hate hearing we're living in unprecedented times. What I would like to see is more class consciousness, because there are a few things. The first is Dan Le Batard saying the reason why Jon Stewart can't talk about it is because corporations run it. Why is this not only a known thing, but one that unites us as the working class? It astounds me that people will go to that event that Republicans threw and really think that they care about them when they don't. They care about their bigotry, they care about their hatred, but they don't care to unify. Their whole entire message is problematic. Their whole entire message is demeaning people that are predominantly not white. And yeah, you could throw up Amber Rose. You could throw up Byron Donalds, who has given outrageous statements. Do it. Totally fine. But we all know that they are there for one reason and one reason only. What should unite us is corporations robbing us blind, and in addition, seeing that Donald Trump is open for business. Look at the people that are bankrolling his campaign. David Sachs tweeted all the mega millionaires and billionaires that are supporting him. And he said, come on in, the water's warm. This is a man who will undoubtedly, already has and will continue, stripping America for parts just so he could continue to profit and retain power. It is sickening. And until more people see this, it will stagnate progression. It sucks, but it's where we are today. What should unite us is the top 1% against all of us. Seeing the ways that they control mass media, they control the food we eat, the water we drink, the cars we drive, the air we breathe. I mean, we can go on and on. And I reiterate, until people see it, they will continue to be blind and in turn follow the blind. Because that is exactly what it is. Blindly motivated by profit. And we deal with the repercussions.